Why did a process server hand me papers in my office lobby while my coworkers watched and whispered? I was still telling everyone my husband was controlling and crazy. How did one secret phone turn into a legal order that changed my life in one afternoon? My name is Sula Mae Bennett, and I always said my life was normal. I worked at a dental clinic, I paid bills, I packed lunch for my son, and I smiled in photos. From the outside, people thought I was the calm wife with a steady husband. I liked that picture. I protected it like it was my job. I also had a second phone. I told myself it was not a big deal. I told myself it was like a diary, just digital. I said it was safer to keep it away from the main phone because Ethan always wanted open things. Ethan called it trust. I called it control. That is how I talked about him, even when he did not raise his voice. That morning started like any other weekday. The kitchen smelled like toast and coffee. Noah sat at the table with his backpack half open. Ethan stood near the sink and rinsed his mug. He asked if I could sign a school form. I said I would do it later. He asked if I was taking Noah to school. I said yes, because I liked being the one who looked like the good parent. My secret phone was charging and I forgot it. I usually charged it behind the cereal boxes in the pantry, because Ethan never reached that far. I was tired. I'd come home late the night before. I told Ethan I stayed after work to help with insurance calls. That was not true. I told myself it was a white lie, like people say, because it kept peace. Ethan opened the pantry to get peanut butter. I heard a small sound, like a cable dragging. I turned, and my stomach dropped. He held the phone in his hand, and his face went still. The screen lit up because my notifications were set to show previews. A photo filled the screen. It was me, smiling too close to Colin. It was not an adult scene, but it was too clear what it meant. I had saved it because I liked how wanted I looked. Ethan did not shout. He did not throw the phone. He looked at the screen, then at me, then back at the screen. He asked whose phone it was. I said it was an old phone I kept for work. He asked why it had a passcode he did not know. I said it was because of patient privacy rules, like I was protecting the clinic. He asked why there were photos of me with a man who was not him. I said it was just a joke photo. I said it was from a group thing. I said it was nothing. He asked who Colin was. My throat got tight. I said Colin was just a friend from the gym. I said Ethan was being dramatic. I said he always made normal things dirty. I even said it was creepy that he was staring at my pictures, like he was the problem for looking. He asked why the messages on the phone were saved under a heart emoji contact. I said I used emojis for fun. He asked why my location history on my main phone showed I was at the gym at times. I said I was at work. I said the location history was wrong. I said phones were buggy. I said he was acting like a detective because he did not trust me. And if he did not trust me, that was his issue. I watched his face, waiting for anger. I wanted anger. Anger would make my story easier later. If he yelled, I could tell people he lost it. If he slammed a door, I could say I was scared. But he did not. He put the phone on the counter like it was fragile. He asked if I had slept with Colin. I felt heat in my cheeks. I said Ethan was disgusting for asking. I said a good husband would not talk like that. I said he was making me feel like trash. I said he pushed me away for years with his rules, and now he wanted to act hurt. That is what I did. I flipped it fast. Noah looked up from his cereal. He asked if we were fighting. Ethan turned his head slightly and asked Noah to finish eating. I told Noah we were not fighting, we were just talking. I smiled too hard. Noah stared at me like he did not believe it. Ethan asked me to sit down. I refused, because sitting felt like admitting something. He asked me again, calm. I said I did not take orders. He took a breath and said he would not argue in front of our child. He asked me to go upstairs and talk in private after Noah left for school. I followed him, but I did it like I was doing him a favor. Upstairs, in the hallway, he asked me to tell the truth. I said the truth was that he had been distant. I said he treated me like a roommate. I said he did not compliment me. I said he cared more about the house than my feelings. He asked if I was blaming him for my choices. I said I was not blaming him, I was explaining him. I said a lonely wife was a human being, not a robot. He asked how long it had been. I said time did not matter. He asked if there were more pictures, more messages, more meetups. I said he was obsessed. I said he was the one making it bigger. I said it was only emotional, and that should be less bad. I used that word like it was math. Ethan walked into the bedroom and opened his dresser drawer. I thought he was going to grab clothes and storm out. Instead, he took out a small folder with a plain label, Household. He placed it back slowly and closed the drawer. The drawer clicked like it had a lock. That sound made me feel strange, like the house was not fully mine anymore. His phone buzzed. A calendar reminder flashed for a second when he picked it up. I saw the title, Meeting Personal, and a time around mid-morning. He turned the screen away, not hiding it like a sneaky person, but like a person who suddenly had boundaries. He asked me to look at the phone on the counter downstairs and decide if I wanted to keep lying. I said he was trying to scare me. He said he was trying to protect our home. He said he would not scream. He said he would not fight. He said he needed space to think. He asked me to stay somewhere else for the night. I laughed, sharp and fake. I said he was kicking me out. I said he wanted to punish me. I said he wanted me to look weak. I said he was heartless. Ethan asked if I had anyone I could stay with. I said I did, and I said it like a threat. I wanted him to panic. I wanted him to beg me not to go. He did not. He went downstairs and started packing Noah's lunch like it was a normal day. He asked Noah if he wanted apples or grapes. Noah said apples. Ethan nodded and cut them. That calm made me furious. It felt like he was making me invisible. I grabbed my overnight bag and threw in random clothes. I did not even change. I stayed in my pajama set because part of me wanted the drama. If neighbors saw, they would ask questions. If people asked questions, I could shape the story first. Ethan stood by the front door. He asked if I could at least change into real clothes before leaving. I said he did not get to tell me what to wear. I said he was controlling again. He asked if I had my keys. I said yes. He asked if I was driving safe. I rolled my eyes like he was a joke. When I stepped outside, the morning air hit my legs. The driveway was cold under my feet. Across the street, Mrs. Harlan was walking her dog. She paused and looked at me. Her eyes dropped to my pajamas, then up to my face. I lifted my chin like I was the victim in a movie. Ethan stayed in the doorway. He did not touch me. He did not block me. He did not do anything illegal or cruel. He simply did not chase me. That was the worst part. I got into my car and locked the doors. My hands shook, but I told myself it was anger, not fear. I looked back at the house and saw Ethan close the door slowly, like he was closing a chapter. I told myself he was trying to make me feel small. I told myself I deserved more than this. I told myself I was justified. And still, as I backed out, I could not stop thinking about that calm reminder on his phone. Meeting, personal. I drove to Tara's apartment with my pajama pants under a coat. I kept telling myself I looked brave, like a woman leaving a bad situation. The truth was, I did not want to go back inside and see Ethan's face again. His quiet eyes made me feel exposed. Anger felt safer than shame, so I held on to anger like a steering wheel. Tara opened her door fast. She asked what happened. I said Ethan found something private and turned it into a crime. She asked if he yelled. I said he acted calm in a scary way. She asked if he touched me. I said no, but I added that he tried to control me with rules. Tara told me to sit on her couch and breathe. I acted like I was fine, but my hands kept shaking. I told her he made me leave the house in pajamas. That part was true. I just did not say I chose it. I called my mother next, because my mother always cared about stories. She asked where I was. I said I was at Tara's because Ethan kicked me out. She asked what I did. I said I did nothing but exist as a woman with privacy. She asked if I had another phone. I paused, then said yes, but I made it sound harmless. I said it was for work and personal safety. My mother made a small sound like she believed me already. She said Ethan always wanted to look like the perfect man. She said people like that hid dark sides. I held on to those words because they helped me breathe. My dad was in the background. He asked what was really going on. I said he was being dramatic. I said Ethan had been cold for years, and I was tired of being treated like furniture. My dad asked if I cheated. I said he should not talk to me like a judge. I said it was not cheating if a husband abandoned his wife emotionally. I did not know if that was true. I said it anyway, because saying it made me feel less guilty. Ethan texted me once that afternoon. He asked if I got to Tara's safely and asked what time I wanted to pick up Noah tomorrow. That made me mad. I wanted him to beg me to come home. I wanted him to say he was sorry for pushing me to this. Instead, he sounded like a coworker. I told myself he was playing a cold game. I showed Tara the message. She asked why it sounded normal. I said that was the point, that he wanted to look normal so people would not believe me later. I opened my main phone and checked our shared photo album. I had forgotten we both had access. When I clicked it, I saw it was gone. Not hidden, not renamed, just removed. My stomach tightened. It felt like Ethan erased me with one button. I told Tara he was punishing me. Tara said I needed to move faster than him. She said I should tell people first, before he had time to plan. I liked how that sounded. I liked being the first voice. I wrote a post and stared at it for a long time. I did not write the truth. I wrote a clean story. I wrote that I had to leave home suddenly because my husband did not respect my privacy and tried to control me. I wrote that I was finding my voice. I avoided the word affair. I avoided the word phone. I used words like boundaries and mental health. Tara read it and nodded like a manager approving a plan. She said people would connect the dots in my favor. I hit post. Likes came fast. My chest felt warm, like I was winning something. Soon my friends started messaging me. One asked if Ethan was being jealous. I said yes. Another asked if he was cruel. I said he could be cold and sharp. Someone asked if I needed help. I said I just needed support and to feel safe. I used that word again, safe, because it made people lean toward me. I told them I left in pajamas. I knew it sounded shocking. I knew it painted him as a man who could throw a woman out without care. Nobody asked if I had chosen to leave like that. I did not offer it. That night, Tara wanted to take me out. She said staying home would make me spiral. I agreed, because I wanted witnesses on my side. We went to a rooftop bar where my friends liked to take photos. The wind was cold, and the city lights made everything look clean. I told myself I belonged there, not at home with a husband who acted like a locked door. At the table, my friend Kendra asked what Ethan did exactly. I said he searched my things and tried to shame me. She asked if he found something. I said he found a private phone and acted like I was a criminal. Another friend asked why I had a private phone. I said it was because Ethan watched everything. I said he made me feel like I could not breathe. I said I needed one place that was mine. They nodded and made faces like Ethan was already guilty. Someone asked if Ethan ever flirted with other women. I said no, and I made that sound like a flaw. I said he was rigid and obsessed with being good. I said he did not understand how a woman needs attention. I said men like him drove women away and then acted shocked when the woman found warmth elsewhere. I watched their eyes while I spoke. I adjusted the story in real time, like changing clothes in a mirror. I checked my phone under the table. Colin had sent a message asking if I was okay. He asked what happened with Ethan. I told him Ethan found the secret phone. I said Ethan overreacted and tried to control me. Colin replied with sympathy. He said I deserved better, That made me feel powerful again. It also made me feel like I had to keep choosing this path, because turning back would make me look foolish. When we got back to Tara's, she gave me a spare blanket and pointed to the couch. She asked if I wanted to call Ethan and set rules. I said no, because calling him would mean he mattered. I wanted to punish him with silence first. I told myself silence would make him panic. Instead, another message came from him near midnight. He asked if Noah could call me before bed. He added that Noah missed me. That line annoyed me. It felt like Ethan was making Noah a reason to be kind. I called Noah, but I kept my voice sweet. Noah asked why I was not home. I said I had to sleep somewhere else for a bit because Mommy and Daddy had a disagreement. He asked if Daddy was mad. I said Daddy was confused and Mommy was tired. Noah asked if I would come to his class party next week. I said yes, even though I did not know if I could. After the call, Tara offered me her old tablet to scroll and distract myself. She said it still had some shared apps from when Ethan helped her set up family accounts long ago. I opened it without thinking. A missed call notification sat on the screen. No caller ID. It was not on my phone. It was on an account tied to Ethan's number. I stared at it for too long. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself Ethan had random calls all the time. Still, my chest went tight again. Ethan was quiet, but things were happening around him. He was not chasing me, he was not begging, and someone somewhere was calling him without a name. The next morning, I woke up on Tara's couch with my hair messy and my throat dry. Tara asked if I slept. I said yes, even though I kept waking up. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that second phone glowing on my kitchen counter. I checked my main phone first. Ethan had sent another message. He asked what time I wanted to see Noah today. He said he could do the school drop-off and I could do pick-up, or the other way around. It was so normal that it made me angry. I told myself he was trying to look like the stable one. I replied that I would pick Noah up after work. I added that I did not want surprises. I wanted him to hear fear in my words, like he had power over me. He replied with one word, okay. I called my mother while I got ready for work at Tara's bathroom sink. I told her Ethan was acting strange and quiet. She said quiet men were dangerous in a different way. She said a man who did not argue was planning. I liked that idea because it made me feel important, like I was in a serious drama and not just a wife who got caught. At the dental clinic, the day felt too bright. The waiting room smelled like mint and bleach. I walked in and tried to look normal, but my coworkers looked at me like they already knew something. Kendra from billing asked if I was okay. I said I was dealing with home stuff. She asked if Ethan was being controlling again. I did not correct her. I let the word hang in the air like a sign. In the break room, I made coffee and told a careful version of the story. I said my husband found a private phone and got jealous. I said he pushed me to leave, and I had to go somewhere safe for the night. One assistant asked if he threw me out. I said he made it clear. I was not welcome. That was close enough to sound true. Another coworker asked why I had a second phone. I said it was for personal reasons and I had a right to privacy. I said some men used trust as a way to watch women. I watched their faces soften. I felt relief. It was like I took the dirty thing in my hands and gave it to them in a clean package. My manager pulled me aside near noon. She asked if my home situation would affect my work. I said no, and I smiled. She asked if I needed time off. I said I could handle it. I wanted to look strong. Then I added that I just hoped my husband would not show up at my job because he had trouble with boundaries. I said it lightly, but I knew what I was doing. I was planting a warning. If Ethan ever came near the clinic, people would already see him as a problem. After that conversation, I went back to my desk and tried to focus on insurance claims. My hands moved, but my mind kept replaying the moment Ethan held the secret phone. I opened a spreadsheet to track payments, but my eyes kept drifting to the corner of my screen where my messages popped up. Colin sent a short text asking if I was free later. I replied that I could meet him for a few minutes because I needed air. I told myself I deserved air. I left work a little early and drove to the gym, even though I did not plan to work out. I stayed in the lobby where people came and went. I liked public places. They made me feel safe and seen. Colin arrived in a hoodie and smiled like this was still exciting for him. He asked how bad it was. I said Ethan was acting like a victim. I said he was twisting everything to make me look like a villain. Colin asked if Ethan yelled. I said no, and I made that sound worse. I said Ethan was doing that calm thing where he acted like I was unstable. Colin asked what I wanted to do. I said I wanted my life to stay the same. I said I wanted my house back and my routine back. I said Ethan was being dramatic over a phone. Colin said Ethan had a right to be upset. Hearing that made my chest burn. I told Colin he did not understand my marriage. I said Ethan had been distant for years. I said I had tried, and nobody cared until I made one mistake. I called it a mistake, even though I did not fully believe it. Colin asked if I loved Ethan. I did not answer. I said love was not enough when a woman felt unseen. I said Ethan loved control, not me. Colin nodded, but his eyes looked less certain. He asked if I was going to leave Ethan for him. I said that was not fair. I said I should not have to choose, just because Ethan could not handle my feelings. I noticed a soft beep from my own phone, like a recording app starting by accident. My stomach jumped. I looked down, and the screen showed a small icon I did not recognize at first. I closed it fast. I told myself it was nothing. Still, I felt heat in my face, like the world had ears. When I got back in my car, I saw a message from Ethan. He reminded me about Noah's pickup time and said Noah's teacher sent a note about a class party next week. He asked if I wanted to attend. The message had no emotion, just facts. I replied that I would be there. Then I wrote another line about how he should stop acting like the perfect parent to punish me. I deleted it. I wanted to send it, but I also did not want to leave proof of my worst thoughts. At the school pickup line, I waited behind other cars and watched families hug and laugh. When Noah climbed in, he asked why I was not sleeping at home. I said Daddy and I needed space. He asked if Daddy was mad at me. I said Daddy was confused and needed time. Noah said he wanted us all to eat dinner together. I said we would, soon. I did not know if that was a lie yet, but it came out like one. On the way back to Tara's, I stopped at the supermarket. Noah wanted cereal, and I wanted to feel normal again. In the snack aisle, I saw Ethan. He was alone, pushing a cart like a quiet worker. He had kid snacks, detergent, and a box of toner cartridges. Toner. That detail hit me hard. He did not work in an office. He did not need toner for his job. He needed it for printing. Ethan looked up and saw me. He nodded once, polite, like we were neighbors. He did not ask where I was sleeping. He did not ask who I was with. He did not even look at Noah for long, because Noah was not with me. He just walked past, calm and clean, like a man who already made a plan. I stood there holding a cereal box, feeling small in the bright lights. That night at Tara's, I scrolled through my second phone in secret. I told myself I was checking if anything was still safe. A small message appeared at the top of the screen. File uploaded successfully. I stared at it until my eyes hurt, because I suddenly understood something simple. My secrets were not staying in my hands anymore. I woke up the next day with a tight jaw and a plan in my head. If Ethan would not chase me, I would pull him into a place where he had to react. I told myself I was doing it for the family. I told myself I was trying to fix things, but I knew the real reason. I wanted witnesses. I wanted a crowd to see him as the bad man and me as the hurt wife. My mother called before lunch and asked if I was coming to Sunday dinner. She said it was already planned at a family restaurant, the kind with a long table and loud plates. I said yes right away. I knew Ethan would feel pressure there. I also knew my mother liked to perform kindness in public. That would help me. I texted Ethan and asked if he would come. I said it was for Noah, so he could see us be adults. Ethan replied that he would come for Noah, and he asked what time. His words were plain. No blame, no begging. That made me more sure I needed the dinner. Before we went, I stopped by the house to grab nicer clothes. I told myself it was my home too. I also wanted to see what Ethan was doing. I came when I knew he would be there, because it was the hour he usually packed Noah's things. Ethan opened the door without a fight. He asked what I needed. I said I was picking up clothes and Noah's party invitation. He stepped aside, like a stranger holding a door for someone. I walked through the hallway and felt the air was different. The house looked the same, but the feeling did not. On the kitchen counter, there were 2 mugs placed far apart, like they had an argument of their own. A sticky note sat near the fruit bowl. It said, "Bring forms." I stared at it, trying to guess what forms meant. Ethan noticed me looking and asked if I found my things. I said yes. Then I said he was being cold on purpose. He asked if I wanted to talk later in private. I said he only wanted private so he could twist things without witnesses. I went upstairs and grabbed a sweater and jeans. In the bedroom, the drawer with the household folder was closed. I heard a small click, like a lock settling. In the office room, a printer tray was open. 1 sheet of paper sat there, blank, like it had just been fed through and stopped. The air smelled faintly like toner again. Ethan's laptop was closed, but I saw a short flash on his phone when it lit up on the counter. A tab title was visible for a second. It looked like notary near me. He turned the screen down fast, not panicked, just careful. I told myself he was trying to scare me with hints. I told myself it was emotional abuse in a quiet suit. That is what I called it in my mind, so I could keep my anger clean. At the restaurant, my mother arrived early with Tara. They hugged me like I was a survivor of something. My father arrived behind them and asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, and I made my voice small on purpose. Tara sat close and whispered that I should stay calm and let Ethan show his true face. I liked the phrase true face. It made him sound like a hidden monster. Ethan came in with Noah and his parents. Marcia held Noah's hand. Greg carried a small bag, probably with crayons or a snack. They looked calm too. Ethan greeted my parents politely. He asked how they were. He asked about my father's back, like he remembered real things. That made me irritated because I wanted him to be rude. We sat at the long table. Plates clinked. People talked over each other. I waited for a moment where all eyes were on us. When it came, I took it. My mother asked Ethan why I had to leave the house, like that. Ethan asked what she meant. My mother said I left in pajamas and it was humiliating. I said Ethan made me leave. Ethan looked at me and asked if I wanted him to correct that in front of everyone. I said he was threatening me again. He told my mother he asked for space, and I chose to leave quickly. He said he did not force me out. I laughed, sharp. I said he was rewriting history. Ethan asked if we should talk about the phone. My throat went dry. I said the phone was private and he had no right to touch it. I said he went through my things like a police officer. Ethan said he opened the pantry for peanut butter and the phone was there. He said the screen showed what it showed. He said he did not hack anything. He said he asked questions and I refused to answer. My mother leaned forward and said, a husband should not shame his wife for seeking comfort. She said men like Ethan had pride issues. Tara nodded hard. I felt the room tilt toward me, and I enjoyed it. I said Ethan always made me feel lonely. I said he treated me like a roommate. I said he cared more about being right than being loving. Ethan listened without rolling his eyes. That calm made me feel like I was talking into a pillow. I pushed harder. I said he was cold and rigid. I said he never flirted, never chased, never made me feel wanted. I said I was a woman, not a machine. I said a wife needs attention. Dana, Ethan's sister, put her fork down. She asked if I was hearing myself. She asked if I was blaming Ethan for my choices. I told her she did not know our marriage. Dana said she knew enough to know cheating was a choice. My face got hot. I told her she was judging me because she liked Ethan. Dana said she liked honesty, not Ethan. Noah looked at me and asked why everyone was talking loud. I forced a smile and told him adults were just having a serious talk. Ethan asked Noah if he wanted to go wash his hands with Grandma Marcia. Noah nodded fast and left the table with Marcia. That made me angry too. Ethan was removing the child from my stage. My father cleared his throat. He asked me a direct question. He asked if there was another man. I stared at him. I said it was not like that. I said people always made women into villains. My father asked again, quieter. I said Ethan had pushed me away. I said emotional neglect was real. My father said emotional neglect did not put photos on a secret phone. His voice did not rise. That was worse than yelling. Greg spoke for the first time. He said he did not want to fight in public. He said the child should not carry adult shame. He looked at Ethan and asked if Ethan was okay. Ethan said he was handling things calmly. He said he wanted stability for Noah. That word, stability, made my stomach twist. I tried to pull the room back to me. I said Ethan was using Noah as a shield. I said he was acting saintly. Ethan asked what I wanted. I said I wanted respect. I said I wanted him to admit he overreacted. Ethan asked if I wanted him to admit he was wrong for being hurt. I said yes, because that is what my mouth wanted, even if it sounded wrong out loud. Ethan nodded once like he understood something final. He said he would not argue. He said he would not call me names. He said he would talk only about Noah and the schedule. He said any other talk could wait for another setting. My mother scoffed and said he was cold again. Ethan did not respond. When Noah came back, he asked if we could get dessert. Everyone said yes too fast, like dessert could glue us together. Noah ate ice cream and smiled, but his eyes kept moving from face to face. I hated that. I hated that my child could feel the truth without words. As we stood to leave, I caught a glimpse of Ethan's phone screen when it lit up. A small notification showed, "File uploaded successfully." He turned it off quickly and put it away. He did not look at me when he did it. In the parking lot, my mother told me not to let Ethan scare me. Tara told me I was winning because everyone saw his coldness. My father stayed quiet. Ethan buckled Noah into the car and asked Noah if he had fun. Noah said yes, then asked when I was coming home. Ethan said we would talk about that later. I stood there with my keys in my hand, smiling like I was fine, while my insides felt like a thin wire pulling tighter. I spent 2 days telling myself the dinner proved something. I said people saw Ethan's cold face. I said my mother and Tara were on my side. I said Ethan looked like a man who liked power. But when I was alone at night, that story felt thin. Ethan did not look like a monster. He looked like a man who stopped begging. That scared me more than anger. On Tuesday morning, I decided I would go back to the house again. I told myself it was my right. I told myself Noah needed his mother in his home. I also told myself Ethan would crack if I pushed him in person. I wanted one loud moment from him. I wanted proof for my friends. I wanted to feel like I still had control. I drove to our street and parked by the curb, like I was visiting someone else's place. The driveway looked too empty without my car. I walked up in sneakers and a clean jacket, not pajamas this time, because I did not want to look weak again. The air was cold, and I could hear a lawn sprinkler ticking somewhere down the block. Ethan opened the door before I knocked twice. He asked what I needed. I said I came to talk. He said we could talk about Noah's schedule. I said I wanted to talk about us. He paused and said he was not ready to do that face-to-face right now. He said he wanted things calm. I stepped closer like I owned the space. I said he could not keep me out. Ethan said he was not keeping me out forever. He was setting boundaries while emotions were high. I said boundaries were just another word for punishment. He asked if I wanted to come inside for 5 minutes to pick up anything I needed. I said yes, like I was granting permission, not receiving it. Inside, the house was too quiet. Noah's shoes were lined up by the stairs. A small backpack hung on a hook. The kitchen table was cleared, like someone cleaned it with purpose. 2 chairs were pushed in neatly. On the counter, the fruit bowl sat exactly in the center, like a staged photo. Ethan stayed by the living room doorway and did not block me. He asked again what I needed. I said I needed my home. I said I needed respect. I said I needed him to stop acting like I was a threat. He asked if I could lower my voice. I said he was policing my tone now. He said he did not want Noah to hear anything hard if Noah walked in. I walked to the kitchen and opened the pantry, pretending I was checking something. I wanted to see if my secret charging spot was still there. The cable was gone. The space behind the cereal boxes was clean. That made my stomach twist. It was like my hiding place never existed. I turned and asked where the second phone was. Ethan said it was put away. I asked if he went through it. He said he did not need to go through it to understand what it was. He said the screen showed enough. He said he asked me for the truth, and I chose performance instead. That word, performance, hit me like a slap, because it was close to true. I moved toward the stairs and said I was going to the bedroom to get more clothes. Ethan said okay, but he asked me to be quick. I said he was giving me rules again. He said it was his house too, and he had a right to calm. I said I was the mother of his child, and he could not treat me like a guest. Ethan said he was treating me like a person who broke trust. He said he was still being respectful. Upstairs, the bedroom felt colder than I remembered. The bed was made, but only on one side. The other side looked untouched, like a hotel. On the dresser, I saw a small stack of envelopes face down. No letterhead showed, just plain paper. I told myself not to stare. I did anyway. In the office room, a laptop sat closed. A sticky note was stuck to the side of the monitor. It said, "Paper drop." I hated how normal that looked, like a grocery list. A faint toner smell hung in the air again. On the floor by the desk, a small USB drive lay near a folder labeled Taxes. The USB had a tiny piece of tape with a date written on it. I told myself it was about work. I told myself Ethan liked organizing. Still, my chest tightened. I grabbed 2 sweaters and a pair of boots. I came back downstairs and tried to act casual. I asked Ethan why he was acting like I did not exist. He said I existed, and that was the problem. He said every time we spoke, I tried to turn it into a fight or a story. He said he was done feeding it. I decided to push harder. I said he was weak. I said he could not protect me from anything, not even loneliness. I said a real man would fight for his wife. Ethan asked if I wanted him to fight, or if I wanted him to stay lawful. I said he was trying to sound smart. He said he was trying to stay safe for Noah. I laughed and said he was hiding behind the child. Ethan asked if I could stop saying that, because it was not fair. I said fairness was gone when he threw me out. He said he did not throw me out. He said I left because I wanted a dramatic exit. I felt my face burn. I said he was making things up. He asked if I really wanted to talk about drama, after my posts and my friends' comments. I pretended I did not know what he meant. I said he was spying on my social media. Ethan said he did not need to spy. He said people tagged him. He said his mother saw it. He said Noah's teacher saw it. He said I made our home into a public show. I wanted to deny it, but I could not deny the tags and likes. I took a step forward and said he was cruel. Ethan did not step back. He did not step forward either. He just held his posture, like a man who learned to be still. He asked if I needed anything else. I said I needed my son. Ethan said I could see Noah at the agreed times, and he asked me to confirm pickup tomorrow. His voice stayed even. That made me feel trapped. I looked past him toward the hallway closet, and I heard a low sound from deeper in the house. It was a steady hum, like a machine chewing paper. I recognized it. It sounded like a shredder. My mouth went dry. I asked what that noise was. Ethan said it was nothing I needed to worry about. I said he was hiding things. He said he was cleaning up. I grabbed my bag and walked to the door, waiting for him to stop me. He didn't. In the doorway, I turned and tried one last time. I told him he would regret this. I said nobody would respect a man who let his wife go. Ethan looked at me like he was looking through fog. He asked if I was done. I went back to Tara's apartment feeling like I lost something I could not name. Tara opened the door and asked what happened. I said Ethan was playing cold games. Tara asked if I got the phone back. I said no. Tara told me to threaten him with public truth. I said I already did, and it did not work. That night, I called my mother and told her Ethan was planning something. She said she knew it. She said I should stay loud. My father took the phone and asked if I was ready to admit fault. I said he was taking Ethan's side. He said he was taking reality's side. I lay on Tara's couch and stared at the ceiling. My second phone was not in my hands. My story was slipping. Ethan was not breaking rules. He was making them. The next morning, Ethan texted about Noah's pickup again, and I tried to fight in the message. I wrote that he was heartless. I wrote that he was weak. Then I deleted it and sent only, "Okay." I hated that I sounded like him. Later that afternoon, I stood outside the house again, not going in this time. Ethan came onto the porch, calm as always. I said we needed to talk like adults. He said we would, but not like this. I asked what that meant. He looked at me and spoke slowly, like he did not want to waste words. He said he would handle it properly. I went to work the next day like I could still outrun the problem. I wore a neat blouse and lipstick, like armor. I told myself the office was safe because Ethan would never make a scene. I told myself he was too proud to do anything public. I even told Tara, in a quick voice message, that Ethan was bluffing with that properly line. At lunch, I walked into the office tower lobby to grab a coffee. People moved around me with badges and laptops. I saw my reflection in the glass doors and thought I looked fine. Then a man stepped in front of me with a clipboard. He asked if I was Sula Mae Bennett. I said yes, and I tried to sound busy. He asked me to confirm my address. I asked why. He said he had legal documents for me. My stomach dropped, and my mouth went dry. I looked around and saw 2 co-workers near the elevator. Their eyes flicked toward me and stayed there. I wanted to laugh and make it small, like a joke. I asked the man if he could give it to me later. He said he could not. He asked me to take the papers now and sign that I received them. I said I did not want to sign anything. He said the signature was only proof of delivery, not agreement. I took the envelope with shaking hands. It felt heavier than paper. My fingers left small prints on it. I told myself not to panic. I told myself Ethan was being dramatic. I told myself I could still talk him out of it. I opened it anyway. The first page had my name and Ethan's name. The words looked official and cold. I did not understand everything, but I understood enough. It was a divorce filing. It was not a threat. It was not a sad text. It was a real process. My eyes moved down the page and caught the part that hit like ice. Temporary orders. I read that the home was to stay calm and stable for our child. I read that Ethan would remain in the house for now. I read that I was not to enter the house without a scheduled time and agreement. I read that communication should be limited and respectful, and only about Noah. I read that pickups and drop-offs would happen in public places with clear times, so there would be no fights and no confusion. I read that money, in joint accounts, had limits, and big transfers were not allowed without notice. I tried to breathe and could not. I felt my vision blur around the edges. I heard my coworker whisper my name like a question. I wanted to say Ethan was attacking me. I wanted to say he was controlling me. But the pages did not look like control. They looked like structure. The man with the clipboard asked if I needed to sit down. I said I was fine, even though I was not. I tried to fold the papers back into the envelope, but my hands were clumsy. My coffee idea was gone. My appetite was gone. My story was suddenly too loud for this quiet lobby. Then I saw Ethan. He stood across the lobby near the side doors, not blocking me, not staring, not smirking. He looked clean and steady. He held Noah's backpack in one hand, like it was any other day. He spoke to no one. He did not point at me. He did not raise his voice. He simply existed, calm and lawful, while I stood there holding the proof of what I had done. I looked at the temporary orders again and understood the real result. I was not being chased anymore. I was being managed.